The day I met Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Ridges, they were protesting in front of the Laundrie's home. I began to document them, and little did I know, the three of us would spend the next few months traveling together. Nothing scares us, even if it means crossing a freezing cold river and getting wet. We put our lives in danger because we want to find answers. It gives us purpose, even if it means going undercover to get those answers, or visiting the scene of a crime and paying our respects. Searching for the truth isn't easy. It gets you out of your comfort zone and makes you see things in a different perspective. And it's this perspective that we want the world to see. At the end of the day, we fight for justice. We fight for those who don't have a voice. We fight for those who were silenced. Our next case, we search for Paola Miranda. She was last seen swimming in this river. Here's our Paola's family. Found 2 footprints they believe belonged to her. She left her phone and keys in her car. Her sister tells us that's extremely unusual for her to do that. Stay tuned as we venture deep into Wekiwa Springs State Park to help find her.
Good morning, all. Welcome to the coffee club. Welcome to the coffee club. Get your cup of joe and come join and sit down with us for a little bit. Good morning. Good morning. So we're going to cover a couple things. As many of you guys know, I also was covering, we're going to have a guest come on here in a little bit that's going to be talking about a new case. It is Gracela, and if I'm saying her name right, let me just get back to it. Graciela Garcia. That's the name of the new case, Graciela Garcia. And I'm going to have somebody that's been following the case from the very beginning. It's not getting a whole lot of media attention to it. And which reminds me, I need to text her and let her know I'm live. Hopefully she gets on. So I told her I wasn't going to start until at least 7 and I'd bring her on around 7:30. So that's kind of where our, where we're going to be, time wise and everything like that. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. I miss you guys. It's been a little minute. So if you guys have not liked, share, or subscribe this channel, please do so now. In this particular segment, please like this video. At any rate, we're going to be going over a few cases. We're going to be going over an update on Paola. We're going to be going to get some information on Gracela, and then we're going to discuss the Susan Smith case. Susan Smith was the case that happened in 1994 that rocked this world. It was one of the, I think it was the one that really put the spotlight on, the parents injuring their children. Like that really went around the world. That was, that went viral, so to speak, during the 1994 era. The 1994 era, computers weren't what they were today. Obviously, there was no such thing as social media. So we got our information from newspapers, from newspapers and the news. So sometimes the information we got was, not immediate. It's hard to believe that, in the day and age of social media, not being able to get things like that. And that's the way it was back then. So at any rate, we're going to go ahead and get started. For those that are just joining, please go ahead and get your cup of joe. It's crazy because I just got back home and I realized I did not have, I didn't have any more Dunkin' Donuts coffee, so I couldn't make my pot of coffee. So I had to dust the old Keurig off. And thank goodness I did find some pods for the Keurig. So I do am able to join, with my cup of joe on the coffee club. I was freaking out this morning. I'm like, I cannot not have coffee for the coffee club, right? I know 1994 does seem like yesterday. I have to admit it does. And the crazy part about it is I remember this case vividly. And believe it or not, I was only about, gosh, I want to say I had just turned 15 years old. So this was like one of those crazy cases, and for me at 15, you guys know my life, my life story. I had a lot of things going on in the family household, the violence in the family household. I was a, crazy kid at the time because of, dealing with all the stuff that I was dealing with at home and whatnot. So for me to actually remember this case and to have paid attention, it must have been a big case, right? So yeah. Good morning. Miss Roberta. I know who you are, but it's still funny. It's great. It's so great. So anyways, I try to say I'm not okay. So anyways, just getting started. We'll wait for the special guest to come in. I'm gonna wait until she gives me a ding to let me know she's here, and I'll send her a link. And she's been following this case on Gracela, if I'm saying her name properly, for a little minute. So once she lets me know that she is up, then I will. Oh, and Miss Roberta, I don't know. I've got a special segment for you. It's already been posted, but I'm going to run some stuff that has no commercials in it, just special for y'all for coming and visiting with me this morning. So very thankful that you guys are all here, joining the coffee club. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Thank you. I remember back, before it got crazy on here, we used to go around and talk to everybody and see how everybody's doing, where they're from, what their temperature is, and then we kind of started going into a little bit, getting off the rails a little bit. So we're pulling it back. This is the drama-free zone. We're not bringing in the drama. Just for the rules of the chat this morning, we will not be degrading to other YouTubers, creators, whatever you want to call them. We're not going to be answering personal questions. We want to keep it drama free. We want to, I know that there's going to be, what we perceive as trolls possibly in here. I try to prevent that as much as possible by setting comment, requirements. And so it's we're doing everything we can to keep the gunk and the garbage out of this channel, but sometimes it sneaks in. So I just want to make sure that everybody's aware we are doing our best to make this the most drama-free channel in the morning, so you can wake up and enjoy your time with us, have some fun, learn a little bit about cases, and communicate with your friends in here. We're all friends, we're all family, so we just want to make sure that we can just enjoy our morning, as we get started, depending on where you're from. You might be getting ready to go to bed, right? So we have people from all over the world. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, June. Good morning. Okay. I might need to call you. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, love. All right, love bug. All right, love bug. Good morning. Don't worry. Be happy. That's what we try to do here. So let's get started. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just play. Let me get over here. It's crazy. All right. Let's see here. Let's move that down. Let's move some of this other stuff up. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. Excuse me. I'm going to mute myself. And there's going to be 2 videos that I'm going to play. Heather, this is the Susan Smith, because I can't go on to Gracela until the person comes in that's going to be talking about it. She's really knowledgeable about this case. And I want to make sure that, that she has all the facts that you guys need to understand what's going on and look at her. She is on the thumbnail. That is the gal on the thumbnail that you guys do not recognize. That's Graciela Garcia. And just waiting for for Ronnie girl to get in here. She's been following the case. She made a video about it. So I'm going to run her video. I got her permission to run her video before she comes on to talk about it. And then we'll get on there. Susan Smith with the 2 sons. Yes. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the trailer, and then we'll jump right into the actual mini documentary that I did. It's only about 14 minutes. So all in all, I believe it's like maybe 15 or 16 minutes. So we're going to get started. Yeah. This was in the area with a young child. Actually, Heather, it was 2 young children, and it was the mom, and she tried to say that a black man carjacked her. She tried to say that it was a failed suicide attempt. It wasn't. I mean, when everything push come to shove, she was dating an older white man, having an affair with him that did not want children, and she wanted to divorce her husband and marry him, and that's what it boiled down to. Still not for the normal person, not a good enough reason. Good morning, Florida girl. Not a good enough reason to, anyways, I got to tell you, I had my mom, out here. Yes. Boys in a car. Yes. Strapped into their car seats and pushed into a lake. It was just, I got to tell you that, my mom, she even called me yesterday and she's like, I just can't shake the feeling. She's like, those babies, apparently she's been hearing them, it's one of those things, for a mom. I mean, many of you mothers out there understand, what I'm saying. You love your children. I mean, you would lay your life on the line for your children to breathe, and just to see, like, my mom does not do good with the kind of work that we do, the following of the cases, to going and getting the stories and stuff like that. She does not do good with it. Like, especially when it comes to children, she's shook, she just doesn't like it. She doesn't like it at all. So, Diane Downs. I don't know Diane Downs. Am I missing something here? Yeah, Heather. Absolutely. Well, because first you're thinking, when you're hearing the story, you're thinking of a carjacking. Like, how dare somebody carjack a car with 2 kids in it, and everybody's looking for this carjacker, and the kids are, it's bad. It's bad. So give me just a second. I'm going to get this. I'm going to mute myself now and get this put up. So we're going to go with the little trailer first, and then we'll roll right into the documentary. Andrew Griffin, a.k.a. Bullhorn Betty, is here at John D. Lake, where Susan Smith drowned her children. She's since been convicted of both of their murders here in Union County. She is now eligible for parole in November 2024. Many people are saying, no, this woman killed her children to be with an older, wealthier man. And she was married at the time. We're going to go visit the boy's gravesite and her home where she was at the time that this went on. What rocked this county and rocked the world is the fact that she called law enforcement and said an African-American man
carjacked her with her children. Many people from around the world poured in their support and their love, and just 9 short days later, she told the truth, that she, in fact, strapped her children into their car seat and pushed her car into this lake. This is a sad story. We want to honor Michael and Alexander in today's segment.
So that was that trailer. We're going to do the documentary if it pulls up on the right.
So we're at John D. Long Lake. This is the place where Susan Smith killed her 2 young sons, Michael, which was 3 years old, and Alexander, only 14 months old. She drove the children off the ramp and into this lake, and she blamed it on an African-American man carjacking her. She received a wealth of support and sympathy from across the nation and across the world, and only 9 days later, she admitted to what she had done. She was born right here in Union County, South Carolina. Susan Lee Vaughn, better known as Susan Smith, was born September 26, 1971. She is currently incarcerated in the Leith County Correctional Institute in Greenwood County, South Carolina, not too far from this location. Since she's been incarcerated, multiple guards have been convicted of having sexual relations with her. There has been reports coming out of her correctional facility that she has been using drugs and alcohol while she's been incarcerated. The reason why we're covering the story today is because she is coming up for parole in November 2024. She was convicted of 2 counts of homicide, murder of her children. John D. Lake is about an 80-acre man-made lake in Union County, South Carolina. As you can see, it's beautiful and peaceful out here. Very serene, very nice. What is interesting is in 1996, 7 additional people died in this lake. They were coming here to visit the memorial set up for the boys, Michael and Alexander Smith, which was a little close to the lake near the ramp. And the truck ended up backing into the lake and drowning 7 people that were here to see the memorial. So very sad. There's a lot of sad feelings when you come to this area, especially with the amount of death by this lake. This lake has been home to many tragedies here in Union County. So here at John D. Long Lake, they have a roadside memorial as displayed behind me. This was actually closer to the lake, but was moved in 2000 because in 1996, a van full of people, 7 people, rolled back into the lake and lost their lives visiting this memorial. So now it has been placed on the roadside further away from the lake so that people can come here and enjoy this amazing memorial. Andra, aka Bullhorn Betty, right here in front of Susan Smith's old home. She lived here in 1994 with her husband David and her 2 young sons, Michael and Alexander. She later drowned those 2 boys in the John D. Long Lake because, one, her stepfather had been molesting her since she was a teenager and was over here the day before and had sex with her. He admitted that under oath in the court of law. She was also seeing another gentleman, an older gentleman that was more wealthy and wanted to date her, but did not want any children. And I think it was a combination of those 2 things that caused her and provoked her to kill her children. Andra, aka Bullhorn Betty, is out here in Bougainville United Methodist Church. This is where Michael Smith and Alexander Smith were, their funeral processions went on and they were buried. I am here at the cemetery where they buried young Michael, 3 years old, and Alexander. I tell you, it's just, the more and more I do this, the more angry I get at what some parents can do to their own children. And it's emotional. You know, I'm up here with my mother, and my mother is just struck. You know, she doesn't understand how she would lose her life before anything would happen to her girls. And to think that parents can just strap their children into a car seat and just push them into a lake and just watch them drown, hearing them cry, most likely begging, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." You can't tell me the woman did not hear him. There are just some sick people in this world, and Susan Smith is one of those sick people. I'm here in front of Bougainville United Methodist Church, where Michael and Alexander Smith had their funeral services and were buried in the cemetery. This is a beautiful resting place. Again, this is ripping my heart out right now to think that a parent could do such horrific things to such young, beautiful children. So I'm here in front of the Union County Courthouse. This is the very courthouse that Susan Smith had her trial at, where she was convicted of killing her two young sons, Michael and Alexander. This is a sad, sad tale of everything that is wrong with some of the parents in this country. Susan Smith was convicted here 28 years ago and is eligible for parole coming November 2024. Eligible for parole after strapping her two young boys into car seats and lunging them to their death in a lake where they both drowned. She is eligible for parole in 2 more years. Susan Smith is sick and demented. She is now accused of using drugs and using security guards at the prison for sex. Her saga continues to this day. Her destruction continues to this day. During her court hearing, her stepfather went on the stand and said that he had been molesting her since she was a teenager, and he had just had sex with her the day before she killed her children. During the court hearing, information came out that Susan Smith was also having an affair with an older, wealthier gentleman that did not want to have children. She was hoping to marry him one day and needed to get rid of those kids. So what did she do? Again, she strapped her two young sons in car seats and shoved her car into the lake. She went home and called the police on the phone and said that a African-American gentleman had carjacked her with her children. This garnered worldwide attention and people sympathetic to Susan Smith. And 9 short days later, they found out she was the one responsible for the disappearance of her children.
So there it is. There it is. Heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. Just it's hard to believe that 14-minute segment literally took me, 8 hours. We were driving all over Union County, and I was able to compile it into a 14.25 minute movie, documentary of events. I gotta say that that case, it stuck with me. And then to know that she's eligible for parole. Now, a lot of things go in. First of all, she killed her children. She's had a lot of problems since being incarcerated. The drugs, the sex with the guards, all these things are going to. Yes, I hear you. It's just sad, Heather. It's sad. But all these things go into, these cases, these parole hearings, and the idea that she will actually win her parole, I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful because of the elements to this case. Not only just the elements to this case, but the fact that she actually has had nothing but problems since she's been incarcerated. They were going to be looking, because, at the end of the day, incarceration is supposed to be rehabilitation, right? And as many of you guys know, most people that are incarcerated don't get better, right? And if anything, they get worse. Like, it's counterproductive. Like, the incarceration, I believe there are certain people that need to be locked away and never see the light of day again. Susan Smith would be one of those people, but for other nonviolent offenders, I think sometimes too much time actually is counterproductive. So when you have a nonviolent offender and they're spending, multiple years, 10, 15 years in jail, it's counterproductive. So they don't come out rehabilitated. They come out more dangerous than they went in, right? So, but this is one lady that I really, truly believe that needs to be in and never see the light of day again. So, Ronnie's still not on. She's in, the West Coast of the United States. So, like, right now, I believe it's like 4:00 in the morning her time. So when we see her, it's great to see her, but I'm not sure if she'll be on until like a little bit later. We'll see. So we're going to just keep moving on. And, the whole sexual assault thing, it makes me wonder, because most people that have committed sexual assault to a teenager usually don't admit that on the stand. And with this being her stepdad, and I've always had this feeling that, he admitted it to try to save her life, try to save her from the death penalty. And even because he was a prominent man, from what I read about him, he was a very prominent man that was associated with the whole political stuff. He was a hierarchy in the political realm in that area and community. So I've always had this, I don't know. It's just that gut feeling that, did he really assault her? Maybe it was just that he came over to visit her that day. I don't know. He did admit to it under oath, but again, a lot of people, especially in that, being that high, they would deny it. They would never, ever admit to it under oath. And he did. And it's always made me wonder, why? People, I don't know. Maybe they had enough evidence against him or what, but he did, because of that, his testimony, she was spared the death penalty in this case. And I just wish that she would have received the death penalty. And I think under their guidelines in South Carolina at the time, the guidelines required that 30 years to life. So do I think she's going to get out? Do I think that she's going to be able to make parole? My answer is probably not. We always talk about possible and probable on this channel. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. Absolutely, it's possible. They may say that she's been in there, with the whole COVID things, or, they've been known to release people to get them out of the jails, overpopulation. But this is a woman that senselessly murdered her two beautiful, I mean, those babies are gorgeous. It's sad. And I got to say that case, all these cases that we follow and stuff, that case really kind of struck a chord with me. It really did. It struck a nerve. Just kind of going through all these things, from where she drowned. I think the spot where the boys drowned and the cemetery were the hardest on me personally. I know the cemetery and seeing that gravestone was excruciating for my mother. And it was just hard. Like she still hasn't shook the evil vibe, she just hasn't. She called me yesterday and said so. So it's just, yeah, I believe it, Jackie. I believe it. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong one. It moved up. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why because, back then you listen to it and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you get sympathy for them. But I'm pretty sure, I think I'm not sure if Casey Anthony's dad admitted to that under oath. I think he adamantly denied it. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn, I thought he adamantly denied the fact that, he did that. They just made it come across that he did. The defense did. Surprised, very surprised. Yeah, she accused her father and her brother, and they both said, okay, yeah. That's what I thought. That's what I understood for the Casey Anthony. And actually, that may not be a bad case to follow up on, too. As many of you know, she was not convicted. Many of the people around the country believe that she should. But you know what? It's not a preponderance of evidence. It is beyond a reasonable doubt in these cases. So, if they can put enough doubt in the jury's mind, that's all they need. That's all they need. There's a big difference in what you need to produce, a preponderance of evidence or beyond a reasonable doubt. So it's, again, it's just one of those things. But I would like to, what's coming up, and many of you guys know, I have a huge following on TikTok. I think where are we on TikTok? Let me just move this over here. TikTok. Let me mute this so you guys don't hear all the stuff. It's the Anthony Tot. He's in Orlando. He massacred his entire family, and it was crazy. So I'm just going to play a skit. The reason why I'm playing this one and may consider covering this case in Orlando. It's coming up in April 4th. He's going to start his trial on April 4th. Is because of the so much attention. We when we do these cases, we put it on TikTok because TikTok you can really get a lot of attention to a case much quicker than say YouTube. But YouTube, you're able to expand more. So whereas I'm limited to like a 3-minute video on TikTok, I can play, a 14-minute video on YouTube. So we can get more out there. Good morning, AL. Good morning. We can get more out there utilizing multiple platforms. So, we utilize the TikTok platform just to bring awareness and a messaging. And we use the YouTube platform to really tell the story, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to play this little segment. I'm going to mute myself. Hopefully it gets up and it plays right. But we had so much following on my channel for this one case, and it was the Anthony Tot case. And I was out there in Orlando when we were searching for Paola. That's the day that I got all those blisters on my feet and I'm trying to walk and it sucked. I'm still dealing with the issues from the blisters. What does it say? Yeah, I'm sure he was. I'm sure this whole case, before we get into Anthony Todd, I'm pretty sure the whole Casey Anthony, it rocked his family. Parents are parents, so they're always going to love their children. But, there's a right way of parenting and a wrong way of parenting, in my opinion. This is my opinion, folks. So, for example, Casey Anthony's parents are the ones that called the police on her. They're the ones that brought the awareness that her daughter was missing and they had not seen her, and they were ultra concerned. They knew their daughter was. But it always, when I start hearing children out of control, as young adults and as teenagers, it always makes me wonder why, because there was a lot of things going on in my home and to me when I was growing up that caused me to kind of, go out of control, because I wasn't getting the help that I needed. So when I start hearing about these children, I always, even when I met with Sheriff Rick Wells to talk to at-risk youth, my biggest thing was, explaining my story and why I thought, we didn't need to tell these kids they were bad because they're young children. And usually when young children are out of control, it's because of home environment issues. So things are going on in their home that cause these things. And so it always made me wonder with Casey Anthony, some kids are just rotten, right? Some children are just rotten. Some children have situational issues, And so it always made me wonder why she was so out of control. What was going on in that home for her to need to seek that kind of attention and things of that nature? So, a lot of people don't understand that. So am I sympathizing with Casey Anthony? Of course not. Of course not. But I did want to explain some things that I look at when I hear these cases, because she was very young when she had a child, and she was very young when she was out drinking and partying and stuff like that. And so it always made me wonder what was really going on inside her home for that kind of conduct. But it could be nothing. Casey was spoiled. That's a good point. A lot of spoiled children, think the world owes them something. They do, and I get that. So let me just pop this up. I'm going to mute myself, see if this plays properly, if I don't have to rewind it. But it's about Anthony Todd. He massacred his entire family, including the family dog. So. I'm going to let this just play through it so it starts over. It won't let me start it over for some reason. So just give me a minute. When he was supposed to be in court, he was unable to attend his telephonic hearing. You can probably hear it running in the background, but it won't let me start it over for some reason. Oh, here we go.
Killed his entire family right here, wrapped them up in blankets, and lived in that room with the decaying bodies for weeks. The home where Anthony Todd killed his entire family, including the family dog. His wife, Megan, 42, their children, Alec, 13, Tyler, 11, Zoe, 4, and their dog, Breezy, was killed in the attack. It appeared that he tried to commit suicide as well. On January 13th, 2020, the sheriff, Osceola County Sheriff Office, reported here, and he answered the door. He was stumbling around. He was not, he was shaking. He was disgruntled, and they could smell a foul odor coming from the house. This gentleman killed his entire family and actually stayed in the bedroom for weeks with their family, with his family decomposing, and one of his children actually almost mummified. He was supposed to have trial start, I believe, January 24th, 2022. And due to the sudden death of his lead attorney, he was unable to attend that hearing. So again, this is the home of Anthony Tott, which murdered and massacred his entire family, including the family dog, Breezy. Just a sad, sad story here. He is now scheduled to go to have his murder trial, which he has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in connection with his family and 1 count of animal cruelty in connection with that killing. Again, now he's been rescheduled for April 4th. On January 24th, when he was supposed to be in court, he was unable to attend his telephonic hearing due to the fact that he was ill and unable to attend as well. Anthony Tott killed his entire family.
All right. So for Miss Giggles, let's talk about you, since you want to hijack the. First of all, I would suggest you get your information and your facts correct. First and foremost, you show your ignorance. And secondly, my mom and I have a great relationship. For people that don't know my story, I was sexually assaulted as a young child. Okay. My parents knew nothing about it. There was a lot of violence in my home. Many people know this story. There was a lot of violence in my home growing up, a lot of violence. I'm not going to go into the details of it. I do love both of my parents. But when you have situational things go on, it does something to children. The childhood trauma that I suffered took me well into my 30s before I was able to, purge that and talk about it, because I'd stuffed it down. So while you're in here talking about things that you know nothing about, I've been able to change my life, literally change my life. And it started with me acknowledging the childhood trauma and dealing with the childhood trauma. So for the folks in here that are having problems in their life and they have childhood trauma, I definitely would love to give you guys resources to help deal with that. So, Giggles, it's not all about what you think you know, because you don't. You've never lived my life. And what you're doing is you're perpetrating more trauma on a trauma victim, whether you acknowledge it or not. Okay. So I would behoove you to do better research and quit listening to everything you think you know. Because first and foremost, what people are throwing out there about me is, one, completely inaccurate. It's false. It's lies. Okay. The other stuff that you've read about have been resolved, not guilty. Okay. It's not like these things are, I'm not even going to go into it. You believe what you want to believe. That's all I'm going to say. I really could care less what you believe. But you can keep spreading around lies, or you can do your due diligence and actually research this stuff yourself. You could do that. All right. Not just listen to one side of the story, but look at the whole picture. That's what you could do. I knew you'd like that, Miss How do I pronounce it? Is it like reporter? But yes, behoove. My word. Behoove. Yeah. People see, Heather, you would get something like this, but people that are out there they don't understand what trauma does to people. Right. They don't look into the fact that I had a knife to my throat at the age of 15 years old. I almost lost my life multiple times. At what point do you stop that? At what point do you fight back? It's ridiculous, but I'm not going to get into it. I probably shouldn't even have went into that much, but it's just a sick world out there. And people have no idea what they're talking about, but they still talk about it anyways. So I'm done with that conversation. We're going to move on. Now, just the lighter side. This is for you, Miss Roberta. This is especially for you, my love. For you. This is all for you.
This is Andra, aka Bullhorn Betty, here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I came to the Beacon. This is a staple in this town that has been here since 1946. I have never been here before. I have to say, my burger, which I got the Beacon burger, was the most amazing burger I think I've ever tasted. When I got here, friends recommended the chili cheese o'plenty, and I asked the gentleman that was taking my order, which would he prefer, the chili cheese o'plenty or the Beacon burger? He recommended the Beacon burger. I chose to go with the Beacon burger, and I'm glad I did. So if anybody is in Spartanburg, South Carolina, I would recommend you coming here to the Beacon. Great atmosphere, great experience, and had a wonderful time in a fun environment. And I have to say, the sweet tea is by far the best I have ever tasted.
There you go. Thank you for the suggestion. I was going to go with the chili cheese aplenty, and I was talking to the guy, and he said, is this your first? Obviously, I could tell it was my first time there. I didn't know where to order. I didn't know what to do. You know, everybody was kind of, you know, all the regulars there were kind of, you know, they realized we didn't, you know, we had never been there before. And I got to tell you, the nicest people in the entire world, the nicest people in the absolute entire world there. And they're like giving us suggestions and stuff. So I just walked up to the guy taking my order, and I said, this is our first time here. You know, what do you recommend? Like, if you was your first time here, and he said the Beacon burger, and I figured, well, how can you go to the Beacon without having the Beacon burger? You know, obviously it's named after the restaurant. I will get the chili cheese aplenty on my next trip to South Carolina, to Spartanburg. So it was really, really, really good. I've got to say, holy crap, that was a big burger. Like, you couldn't really see that burger, but that burger was the size of my face, and it was cut in half. Like, I could only eat half of that burger and half of the fries, and I was literally needing to be rolled out of the restaurant. And, you know, we were traveling back the very next day. So guess what? The refrigerator in the hotel ate the rest of the other half. So had a great time. Ronnie Girl is not in here. Again, she is on the West Coast. So I did ask her for permission to play her video. So we're going to play her video, and then maybe we'll have a discussion about what, yes, sunflower, a lot of food, a lot. I cannot express how big that burger is. I mean, that video did not do that burger justice. It just didn't. And I got to say, I had the peach cobbler. I got the peach cobbler because I don't eat cobbler. Okay, folks, I don't eat cobbler. I just want to let you know that. I've had cobbler in the past, but this peach cobbler was just like screaming my name. It was like, Betty, eat me, eat me, eat me. And it just kept screaming in. I'm like, you know, I looked at this burger, I looked at the fries, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to eat this. But this peach cobbler is calling my name. Many of you know I don't eat sweets. I've been eating way more sweets than I should. Probably going to have to go run several miles today. So it kind of is crazy. Cray. At any rate, let's just get this pulled up. Let me see if I can get it. But this is our friend, Robin. She's been, you know, this is what I like about the work that we do. Not Robin. Robin. Robin's the one that suggested the Beacon. So, you know, this is what I like about the work that we do. We give, you know, people see the good that we do, the cases that we cover, and, you know, they start, you know, advocating in their own communities, in their own states, in their own towns. And, oh, thank you. Oh, you guys are too sweet. You guys are too sweet. You guys are really sweet. Thank you. Thank you. And they advocate in their own towns, in their own communities. And, at the end of the day, that's really, what we try to inspire. We try to inspire other people to get involved. When you have something going on in your community, it's so much easier for you guys to get your teams together and go out there and say, search for these folks, find some information, get their story out there. And this is one that Ronnie has asked me to cover. And it's like, we've been on so many cases that we just haven't had the time to really cover, what is this, Q? Is that a Q? Oh, gee, so maybe it's a Q? Yeah. Sorry. Future. People share. Let's see if we can get this pulled up. Hopefully we can. And this is one where she's been been covering this case from the very beginning. She finally put her hand at making a video for her. I'm very proud of my friend. The video isn't available anymore. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, it's not available anymore. I don't know what happened to it. So let me see if I can go to Ronnie. Let me see if I can search for her, Ronnie girl. Which one is she? Nope. Definitely not that one. Definitely not that one. So I don't know. I'll have to wait until I speak to her. But that's kind of sucks. So she must have pulled it back for some reason. I know she's been a little concerned. Sorry about that. I got this old computer. I still haven't had an opportunity to meet up with Olivia yet. And I've been, as many of you know, have not been home. So, and again, I'm still not, I'm home for just a little bit. I don't stay here more than 24 hours at the current moment. So as soon as I get back with her, as many of you guys know, I've got a brand new, well, not brand new, it's new to me, MacBook Pro. So I just got to it was getting set up. And then of course I've been going here, going there, and going everywhere. So I've got to meet up with her and get that. It is set up now. It is set up. So. And then of course I'm leaving again and won't be back. So I've got some other engagements coming up and will not be here, actually probably leaving tomorrow or the next day. So we'll see where we are. All right, I'm coming back on. Sorry about that, guys. And at any rate, I want to tell, I forgot to say, I got a surprise. One, I've had it here, but I haven't been home and I keep forgetting it. Somebody, a wonderful donor, unnamed donor, I don't know who did this, but got us walkie-talkies. These are literally very good. These are some of the best in 36 miles. We had rinky-dink ones that, but this now outfits, we have two. This outfits the entire team. I just want to thank whoever did this for our group, Bullhorn Betty, Olivia and Jonathan Lee Riches. I really do appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Thank you for the support. We get a lot of love and support for the work that we do. Many people try to say that, we're just these disruptors and, we don't do anything. I don't want to get into the he said, she said stuff, but we work very, very hard. We cover cases. We go out there and actually search for victims. Typically when we look around, it's usually us and the families. I don't see hardly anybody out there that are, searching for these folks. I just don't. And for example, Ruth Cecala, I've got to prepare that video. Like Ruth's family is still trying to find her. And I did an interview with the daughter and the son, and I've got to edit those videos. I'm working on my editing, right? So you guys saw that Susan Smith, I'm not as good as Olivia, but I've learned a lot from her. She's an amazing, she loves to help. And so I actually was, I had to call her. I'm like, should I be, resizing these videos inside the editing software? Should I be doing this? So even though she wasn't physically there to help me, she does give me pointers that really help, help me. So I was able to make a pretty video, and I've been working on them. As you can see, I've put several of them up, and it's a lot of work, folks. Like I'm working on my system, my editing software doesn't do literally a quarter of the work that Olivia's does. And the great thing is with that MacBook Pro, I can get her editing software on there. On this computer here, I have Premiere, but I've never been able to, I don't work it well. It's a major learning curve to use Premiere. I mean, it's, I guess, the elite software, and I just need something that's dumbed down, right? I'm not an editor. I didn't go to school to edit software, so I just don't know what I'm doing with it. I have this big, huge binder of, that I can, cheat sheets that I can go through and put stuff together on and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, when you're trying to edit software, or you're trying to edit a video, you're not wanting to spend, I'm like even that, the video of Susan Smith, it took me literally all day to get that 14 minutes. It's pretty involved. Believe it or not, the video for the Beacon, that 1 minute skit, right? It took me like 2 hours to do just to get that, because you got to sync, when you're cut stuff in there, you got to pull stuff out, and you got to try to make sure your lips are synced up properly. I screwed up the end with this, the sweet tea where I came back in, and I had to redo it like several times to get the lip syncing just right. But it worked. It worked. And we got it done. So, it was good. It was good. So, oh yes, for sakes. Yes, it is. It's very consuming. It's very consuming. It literally takes, because you got to listen to it. You got to stop. You got to cut, because there's just some things that are irrelevant. When you're talking about it and you're out there in the field, you say some things and you're like, well, is that really relevant to the case? And if it's not relevant, you got to cut it out. And so you're constantly backing forward, and with my speech pattern, I don't always pause. I go from one sentence right into another sentence. And that's something I've got to, remember as I edit. It teaches me better speech patterns, right? So I know that I need to pause. So if I have a sentence, like, for example, I was out there and I was talking about, I can't remember what I said, but I'm like, yeah, she pushed him into the lake. That was a period, right? And then I went on to the next sentence. Well, that next sentence was irrelevant. So I literally had to go back and hit the space bar and try to get it just right. Otherwise you get that back feed where you get a portion of the other sentence in it. So like one spot in that video where I wanted to cut something out literally took me a half an hour to get correct, because I had to go back, play it, try to hit the space bar to get it cut right. Then I cut it, and then I realized it still had part of the sentence, or I cut the ending off. It definitely is a lot more, a little more involved than that. So But it was great. It was great. Again, that was pretty hard on me as well as my mom covering that case. And I think it was because we remember it like it was yesterday. And it really, in my opinion, the Susan Smith case, back in 1994, really brought to the world, everybody, we all have great parents in a sense, right? My mom loves me, even with all the childhood trauma and abuse that was in the home. We didn't go without food. Our house was clean. We looked like the all-American family on the outside, lived in a big house in a nice neighborhood, and all for all appearances and purposes, we looked like a normal family. Even the family photos, we looked like a normal family. It wasn't like, say, the Wells, where you can clearly see the neglect, the abuse, the environmental stuff. We didn't have that. People say, was I born with a silver spoon? I wasn't necessarily born with a silver spoon, but I was born with a brass spoon in my mouth, right? I still had all the things that life could give, and I felt that maybe some of the things that was bought and paid for me was because of the violence in the home. And I love my father. I do love my father. Him and I don't talk anymore, or as much. I mean, he did call me for Christmas and he did call me for my birthday, but over the last 10 years, that's about, all the conversation that I really had with him. It wasn't until my uncle passed away that, we did try to, or working on trying to have some kind of semblance. I used to be a daddy's little girl. I rode with my dad on his truck every single day. And, it's just again, I love my father. He did the best he could. He had childhood trauma and still suffers from the childhood trauma that he's never addressed. I wanted to end the cycle. I wanted to know why things were going the way they were going in my life. And I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars to be able to identify those issues. And I got to say, what the hardest part about the whole journey that I walked was the forgiveness part, because a lot of people, like I hold a lot of, and did hold a lot of grudges, which affected me. And whenever I was learning about forgiveness, I found out the forgiveness is not necessarily for the person I'm forgiving. It's to relieve me. It's to liberate me. So it's no longer renting space in my head, and a lot of that was probably one of the hardest things that I had to learn on my journey, was the forgiveness aspect. And I feel like, it's still a work in progress. Sometimes I try to bring that stuff back and hold on to it, and I've just got to forgive and let it go. So if that helps anybody, I hope it does. But sometimes forgiveness, does it mean you forget? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean you forget anything. It just means that it no longer has control over you. So forgiveness is the key. Thank you. Thank you very much, Zizi. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, absolutely. So, absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things. Do I love my father? Of course I love my father. I mean, who doesn't love their family? Who doesn't love their mom and dad? I mean, even children that are, physically abused to almost death still love their parents and don't understand why they're being taken away. My dad was in the foster system. He held a lot, and still holds to this day, a lot of childhood trauma that he dealt with as a young boy. And it affected him in his adulthood, and it still affects him to this day. I didn't want to be him. And I had to break that cycle. And sometimes breaking that cycle means having to remove, setting healthy boundaries, and removing the people that don't want to respect those healthy boundaries. And, I still want a relationship with my father. I'm not sure if, I'm sure we'll have a distance relationship until, maybe later in life. I don't know. So, It's just one of those things. A lot of people, again, don't understand. They get bits and pieces of my life, but they don't see the whole picture. I have been an advocate, for children. I have been an advocate for domestic violence. People want to, try to say they're exposing me as an abuser. No, you're not. You're just showing the abuse that I went through. You are. How is that possible? Well, it's because at some point when you get beaten for so many years, changes happen where you won't let anybody put a hand on you again. Does people not understand that? When you're in a violent situation, you protect yourself. Do people not understand that? And in some of those cases, and primarily, I do want to address this while we're on here, the strangling, right? Everybody's saying she strangled him. The reason why, that was a felony, by the way. The reason why I was not charged or convicted of that crime is because the investigators, now mind you, you're not dealing with at this stage when you're charged with a felony, you're dealing with a detective investigating a case. And the reason why I was never charged with that crime is because they actually have video footage of the person that made that allegation in a bar fight earlier that night that equated with a man, not me, not a little 5-foot nothing girl, right? So for those that want to pass that information around, again, inaccurate information, and they can give more than likely can pass it around. Aggravation, going to jail for something that I did not do. Yeah. I was pissed. So, those are things that, again, misinformation, and what can you say? You believe what you want to believe. I don't care. Yeah. It makes it hard. It makes it hard because the one thing I found out through my journey is that you're attracted to a certain, it's almost like a mental thing, right? You're attracted to a particular personality. That's the problem. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. It's a personality that you're attracted to, right? It's the narcissistic personality, because they are, for somebody like me that was, needed the acceptance and the attention, because that's what I wasn't getting. I wasn't getting the acceptance and the attention. So I was looking for that acceptance and attention, and was finding anybody that would give me that acceptance and attention. So I gravitated to people, but you didn't realize that person was narcissistic. They knew what they were doing. They knew how to play you. They knew they preyed on weak people. And so for me, I was attracted to that. So it was always pink clouds and butterflies right at the beginning. And then it started coming down where it started being controlling. And it was a progressive situation. So if anybody is dealing with domestic violence, I have many resources. I have resources literally in all 50 states. So please reach out to me. I just don't advocate for the dead and missing. I advocate for the living as well. And despite what many people think of me, most of it is lies and untruths. So the people that have been following me from the beginning know my entire story. And that's why it doesn't affect them like it affects people that have no clue, right? It's nothing new, nothing original. Yeah. It's a sick thing. And I had to break the cycle. And it was dealing with that childhood trauma. It's dealing with the stuff, that I didn't realize was childhood trauma. That is childhood trauma. We had Heather in here, which is a, obviously a counselor of some sort. She understands this stuff because she was probably the type of person that I had to go see to learn this stuff. I wanted to learn why my life was just, every time I felt like I was making one step forward, it was like I was being pushed 10 steps back. And it really was about dealing with the trauma in my life and forgiving those that committed the trauma in my life. That was absolutely the hardest thing I've ever had to do, I have to say. Well, one of the more harder things was giving up nicotine, and I still haven't quite cracked the code on that yet, but I'm not smoking cigarettes. I don't smell like an ashtray. So, the silver lining is I don't smell like an ashtray, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. For those that are just joining, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to this channel. We do cover a lot of true crime cases here. We try to go in depth. We try to meet with actual people face to face. I find being there, reading the vibe and stuff like that. I'm actually working on trying to get somebody on here about a case that has been on TikTok quite a bit. A lot of weird stuff coming out about this particular case that I wanted to discuss, but I'm not quite ready. We did touch on it. Olivia and I did touch on the case for a little bit, but I'm still working on some stuff with that case, and it's not what we think it is. I can tell you that, and that's all I'm going to be able to give you for now. And then there was another case that I want to start covering. It was quite interesting, and again, another suggestion. Who is this? Okay. So Ronnie is awake. Thank you, Ronnie. She's going to get herself together. Hopefully, when she lets me know she is ready, she's going to come on here and just give us an idea of what's going on with Gracela. If I'm saying her name right, she will correct me if I'm saying it wrong. Let me say great. See you soon. Just remember, she's on the East Coast, folks. So like right now it's 5 a.m. We are very blessed that she comes on here. She does come on here quite a bit for us. And but you guys don't really see her. She talks in here. She's one of my mods. And again, it just goes to explain, we try to inspire others to work on cases in their area or find a case that's near and dear to their heart and bring and shine a light on it. If we can ever, if for those that are out there right now watching, if you, Pacific, yep, there she is. We'll let her just wake up a little bit. Go grab your coffee. Ronnie, thank you so much for coming to spend your morning with me and the rest of the crew. But it's basically shining a spotlight on a case. So for those that watch this show and have a case that they want to bring to the attention and just get some more social media light to it, reach out to me. I'm happy to bring you on the show. I'm happy, even if you don't want to show your face, but you just have knowledge, there's an option on this that you can turn the camera off and you'll just have, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And you'll just have this right here where you can talk to people about your case and not necessarily show your face. So a lot of people are shy in some cases. I'm not so much. I try to, after coming on here and stuff, I try to shield as many people as possible that don't want their face coming to light. You can even change your name, like down here at the bottom, right where it says Betty Bullhorn Betty TM. You can change that to whatever you want. So good morning, Ronnie. I tried to show your video just a little bit ago and it was pulled back. Are you still editing that? Yeah. Yeah. It helps. A lot of people don't like their faces, and I'm all for anonymity. It's primarily on YouTube. So I may have typed it in wrong as well because I was typing it in on my, typing it in, but it did say it looked like it was going to go to it, but let me just pull it up here real quick. Let me just, yeah, I'm subscribed. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Well, maybe it's in a different area. Oh, maybe it is on here. Okay, I see it. I see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me just pull it up here. Turn it off. Let me pause it if I can. There we go. All right, guys. So, yeah, I see it now. I see it. I don't know why I couldn't find it. Sorry about that. So, oh, why is it going? I thought I paused it. Hold on, let me pause it. There we go. Let me move it back. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and run this. Since you're on here, let me go ahead and send you. All right, Ronnie, I'm going to post a link to come in here. When you get set up, I'll see you at the bottom. And again, everybody you'll be good. You're the most knowledgeable person for this case. So I think it'll be great. Again, at the bottom, it'll say, you can share your microphone and your camera. It's right at the bottom strip. So if you want to come on here and show your beautiful face, do that. If you prefer having the bubble, just stop camera. It's right there at the bottom. It'll say stop camera. You can put that on, but I'll pull you up in just a second. For the rest of the folks, we're going to go ahead and get this little video that Ronnie Girl did. Thank you for doing that. It was just a 1 minute video that she was able to put together, and very thankful for that. But Ronnie is there's news clips to show. I don't know if you can show them or not. Okay, let's see. I can share your screen if you've got them up on your screen, Ronnie, just to let you know. I can do that. So. Okay. I won't be able to air it because I didn't get permission. So I'll go check it out and get us, something about that. I'll go look and see if I can make comment on that. I've got a lot of work to do today, so we're going to probably cut off right about, I don't know, about another half hour, 45 minutes. And then, I've got, I will be live first thing in the morning tomorrow. We may go a little earlier because I've got things I've got to get done, and I'll have to start my day a little bit earlier tomorrow as well. All right, Ronnie, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to show your video. I couldn't find it for some reason, but I did want to show that to you guys. So I do thank you. I do thank you. And we're working on some other stuff. I'm interested in going to Collin Knapp's hearing. He was the one that we followed into we searched behind his house, and we led the charge on where we believe that Kathleen Moore was at, and come to find out she was where we said she was at. Okay. All right. I'll do that now. Am I saying her name right? Gracela? I'm not sure. I got to look them up. I haven't reviewed that case in a really long time, like literally since I met the detectives out there for a buccal swab. I had not really followed up with the case because we've been on the run. We've been running. So I got to pull all that stuff up. I have not, and it's sad because I mean, he's behind bars. So I had no Graciela. Okay. So we're going to call her Graciela, Grace. Okay. That's how you pronounce the name, Graciela. Okay. Graciela. So I was saying it wrong. So I was saying Gracela, it's Graciela. So that's how you pronunciate Graciela Garcia's name, Graciela, for those that, let's see here. So we do have some stuff. Okay, I do see one thing on here from August 24th. So another one from February 24th, 2020. So this is a missing person case that has been, she went by Gracie. Okay. So she's been missing for a while, and Ronnie wants to be very careful with what she says and how she says it. So just bear with her if she has to pause or anything like that, because she wants to make sure that she says it correctly, and we want to give her the platform. Did you get the link, Ronnie? So I'll go ahead and get started with some of the stuff that we have up. Let me just go ahead and see if I can get this shared. There we go. And here's some stuff. I'll just read some stuff. This is the more recent. We're going from more recent to later. Let's see if we can get this to. Okay.
$7:37 right now. We want to get to our next True Crime Tuesday. A family out of Hermiston needs your help finding a beloved mother and hairstylist.
Our friends with Murder in the Rain podcast to tell us when and where she was last seen.
Welcome back to True Crime Tuesday. Today I'd like to talk about missing mother of four, Graciela Garcia. Graciela Garcia, or Gracie as most called her, a popular hairstylist from Hermiston, Oregon, went missing in November of 2019. On November 9th, Gracie had plans to take dinner to her 14-year-old son, who had been staying at his father's house. She never showed up. Instead, her husband, the boy's stepfather, arrived on his doorstep with the food and told him that his mother had already gone to bed. Gracie's son had 2 missed calls from her, as well as a text message from her phone at 7 p.m. But when he tried to return her calls, it went directly to voicemail. According to her children, Gracie always had her phone on her and never neglected to return a call. Her children continued to try to contact her for 2 days and eventually went to her home to look for her. Her husband, Cuauhtemoc Romero Sanchez, claimed that she had not returned home. The state of the home added to growing concerns. Gracie's car was still parked at the house. Her purse, clothing, and jewelry all remained in the home. On November 11th, 2019, her children filed a missing person report. An investigation began and police discovered there were a few items missing from her home: her license, passport, and cell phone. According to the phone company, a final ping to a cell tower was received near Umatilla Bridge at the Oregon-Washington border on November 9th at 12:30 a.m., and then it was shut down. Police have described Gracie's disappearance as suspicious, and they have questioned her husband regarding the fact that he didn't file a police report and he had his phone shut off for the entire duration of the day she went missing. That being said, he has cooperated with police throughout the investigation. The home that Gracie shared with her husband was searched, and with his consent, and he also submitted several DNA samples. Gracie's children do not think she would leave town voluntarily without telling anyone. Not only does she have a teen son that she shares custody of, she owns her own in-home salon and is well known for her dedication to her customers. They are adamant that something is very wrong, and one of her daughters suggests she thinks her mother was kidnapped. You can follow the case details posted by Gracie's family on Twitter by going to @FindGracieLag, and there's also a GoFundMe page called Missing Gracie Garcia from Hermiston, Oregon. The family is raising funds to secure a lawyer and a private investigator to hopefully make progress on this case. Gracie Garcia is currently 50 years old. She's 5'4" and weighs 140 pounds, and at the time of her disappearance, she was blonde.
If anyone has any information about this case, who should they contact?
If you have information on this case, please contact the Hermiston Police Department at 541-567-5519, or you can leave an anonymous tip at 541-667-5148.
Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to join us next week for another True Crime Tuesday.
And for more from Murder in the Rain, follow them on social media and listen to their
I'm pretty sure many of you know my first initial thoughts on this situation. Seems pretty glaring. So she's been missing. I'm very interested about the last ping, the bridge. I really am. You know, I have. Yeah, you have to shut off YouTube. While you hit here, let me put the link back in. You hit the link. If you don't, because what it'll do is it'll give you the feedback on YouTube. So once you hit the link, another box will pop up, shut down YouTube, and just go to the box for StreamYard, and you'll be able to see the stuff. I'll wait for you to come on. Exactly. Dirty Roberti, Miss Dirty Roberti. A teenage son, you know, I'm sorry, but first of all, a few odd things. Why would this stepson, a mom doesn't tell their kid they're coming over to drop off food and then send the stepfather to drop off food? They just don't do that. I can tell you that. I've had a stepfather since I was, 15 or 16? My mom will know more, you know? So I'm telling you, if my mom tells me she's coming to drop me off food, guess who's showing up at my door? My mother. The only time that my stepdad will be coming to drop off food is when she calls me to tell me, you know what, I'm really kind of exhausted. I'm going to go ahead and lay down. I'm going to send your stepdad over. Never just that's these are inconsistent. Well, I guess the question would be, has this situation ever happened again where mom said she was dropping off food and stepdad showed up? If that never happened before, that's I don't know. Good morning, Truth Teller, my love. Good morning. Welcome. So Ronnie, if you can hear me, you don't shut off YouTube until you open the link. Good morning. Is someone Tanya? I'm not sure what the question is. Is somebody living there now? You must be coming in late, probably back in the earlier. Are you talking about the Tot residence? If so, then yes, it had appearance that somebody was living there. I'm not sure where on this live you're at. And Ronnie, don't get nervous. I know it's your first time coming on talking. You don't have to be perfect. Just, we're just going to speak and touch on what you know about this case, where she was. I mean, that was pretty informative with that, newsreel. But just, talk about some of the steps that you've taken to look into this case. What brought your attention to this case, things of that nature. The stuff that we've talked about many times. You'll do good. I promise you, you'll do good. You can't mess it up. When you speak from the heart, you can never mess it up. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody that's just tuning in, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. All right. So while we wait for Ronnie to get up and get on, so this again was a case that came out of Portland, Oregon. The family out of Hermiston needs help finding the mother, right? So Gracela Garcia, she goes by Gracie, has been missing for some time now. And a lot of weird events surrounding her disappearance that sound like they were out of character for her, such as, her telling her son that she was going to bring him dinner or bring him food, and then the stepdad shows up, her car being there, her wallet being there, and just minor things like a driver's license, passport, and cell phone missing, and getting to you know what, Ronnie, there's a whole process. I had the same thing with my cell phone too. There's a whole process you have to go through and I forget what it is. It's in the setting to you're right. There's a little process. You got to give Google access to the microphone. And I remember the first time I tried to go live on Yardstream, it didn't let me through the cell phone. I had to go, it took me like a half an hour to set it up. Do you have, the iPhone? I don't know. A lot of people, it's under your settings. You just got to turn on or give access to, if you're on Safari, I don't know. Is that the only, you don't have like an iPad or a computer that you can jump on, laptop? If not, I'll just roll with it and I'll let you figure that out today. And just keep that link, save that link, because it'll let you go in later, even when this is off, just to check your mic and your camera. So save the link on the note thing, and it'll let you go in there later just to test everything out. But what I would do, okay, yeah, I'll bring you back on tomorrow. We'll be going live tomorrow, so we'll just go through this. We'll just go through. We'll wrap this up, and then just try to get it all figured out for tomorrow. I'd really like you to come in because you're the most knowledgeable person on this, and it sounds like this has been going on for some time, this particular case, and I'd like to bring as much light to it as possible. See if we can. Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem, Ronnie. But I'd like to bring as much light to this case as possible because of the length of time that Graciela has been missing. It is, I would presume that at this point it is considered a cold case, and we want to bring as much light to it as possible. I know Olivia has been very, very busy, so I'm going to try to see if she can put together a little video, or maybe I will put together a little video to present for tomorrow. Something with, you did a great job, an amazing job on your video, but I'd like to freshen it up so they're not watching the same video for 2 days in a row. So I'll get something together and maybe run it tomorrow. And yes, we can do a little test later today. Yeah. You've been asking me about it for some time now, and I've just been so busy, but now I've got a little bit of downtime and definitely would like to bring some attention to it because a lot of things don't make sense in this case, and it's out of character. It's out of character for her to be, just disappearing. She's got children. Many people know their parent. Like if my mom didn't call me, for several days in a row, I'd kind of say, maybe I need to call her a week at the most. If I don't hear from my mom a week at the most, then I'm calling her. And if somebody was to tell me that she just up and disappeared and went on a vacation, I would call BS, right? Because my mom just doesn't do that. Does she get up and go, to my older sister's house to watch my nephew? Of course. Does she go, see my little? Of course. Does she come visit? Of course. These are things, but you can get a hold of her. I mean, she's not the best on the cell phone. So she's got two cell phones. And but usually if you call, that she will get a call back, sometimes within 24 hours, but she has ways to get a hold of her. If I called her and I didn't hear from her for days and somebody told me that she just up and packed and got her, passport and left the country, I'd call BS, right? We know our parents. We know their comings and goings. And it sounds to me like this is out of character for her. We need to find out what happened in that home, in my opinion. What I find out is doing this stuff is that, believe it or not, 8 times out of 10, it's somebody that you know, right? Maybe even 9 times out of 10. I got to look at the statistics, especially for domestics. It's high. It's high. It's really, really high, especially the last person that saw you alive, right? It's really high that they are probably the culprit of your disappearance, which is crazy. Is there some outliers in that? Of course there is. Of course there is. There's always outliers. But it's still statistics. That means, you're using the law of large numbers. And statistically speaking, when somebody disappears, statistically speaking, that means using the law of large numbers, not the outliers, the law of large numbers. It's typically the last person that saw you, and it's typically somebody that you know. So law enforcement knows this. Maybe the normal person out there doesn't. You get a lot of sympathizers for scenarios because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that statistics are statistics. You can't help that, Some people would prefer erring on the side of caution, right? I speak my opinions. And I speak my opinions based on information that I've acquired. So, no, actually, that's not. I never specifically even said. I'm speaking in generality, Linda, in generality. But thank you for being here, and thank you for watching my show. Again, no personal questions, no questions about other creators. If you do it again, you will be booted. We'll time you out for 5 minutes and then block you. So if you don't like this channel and don't like me, leave, move on. Have a good day. At any rate, and by all means, go troll my pages. You go troll my, videos. Go ahead and help yourself to finding that information, by all means. Oh, do you have that link, Beach? If you have that link, post it and I'll play it for her. I'd like to see it. Let's see here. Yeah, send me the TikTok link if you've got it, Beach Life, and I'll play it. Again, Linda, why don't you go ahead and hit the door? I don't want you here. You understand that? So actually, let me just help you. You have no idea what you're talking about. Get out of my chat. All right, done. That's okay. She's not going to be here. She had just kicked her out. Thank God for blocking. Yeah. I have a funny feeling I know who it is. That's okay. Beach Life, did you say you had the TikTok or no? Or is it just taking you a little minute to get it? Ronnie, do you know? Here's the family chart. Do you know what the daughter's name is? And I'll just try to look her up on TikTok now. What's the daughter's name?
Yesterday was the first of many hearings for the Crumbleys, and we learned a lot.
Sorry. So, we got your back. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, people hiding behind fake names and stuff like that. It just sucks. Oh, thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. So we're going to go there, and then I'm going to go over, and we're going to just, a lot of people are following that case with the parents of the shooter at that school. Everybody's, on the face of it, it's like wondering why the parents are going to court when their son is the one that, try looking up. Okay, fine. Graciela, hold on. Okay. Garcia. See what we can find here. Find Graciela Garcia. Okay. Yeah, we got a few videos on here, so let me just go ahead and queue those up and just see what they got. Some things aren't working, so I'm not sure. Let me just... see what we got here.
Brought it. He told his stepson that Graciela went to bed. The next day, Graciela's husband told her daughter he didn't know where Graciela went and she wasn't home. Graciela was supposed to bring her son food that night, but instead her husband brought it. He told his stepson that
all right, so there's that one. So
to bring her son food that night, but
so it looks like two different videos on the same thing here. So that was the man that was last seen with her, and I'm sorry, but there's just something that aren't okay. Here it So this looks like the sister. Maybe. I don't know. Or the daughter. Yeah, it's sad. It's just sad. Find my mom. Here we go.
Preguntaron que si aún te extraño, sin titubear les contesté que sí. Les dije que tú a ellos me hizo tanto daño que no me acostumbro a vivir sin ti. Y me aconsejas que me preguntaron que si aún.
All right.
Me preguntaron que si aún te.
So we have missing Graciela Garcia, a beautiful lady that's been missing for some time. I don't think anybody in the family believes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Karen. Love you. Love you and your support. Yes, Gabriella Bustista. Yeah, that's the one I just saw. So it's sad, her family has been missing her for it looks like, in all intents and purposes, a couple of years. And so we really want to try to spotlight. I'm going to do some more research on this too, Ronnie girl, and see if there's a way that we can, at least just bring a spotlight, a social media presence, and maybe do something on TikTok for her. Just to you know. Yeah. Do the phone. Yeah, get the phone worked out. You can give me a call a little later and we'll try to do a dry run. I'll bring you in on a ended show, you know, so we can check your mic and camera and stuff like that. There's a way to do that, so without having to go live again and play around with it. So it's just sad. So we have Graciela Garcia. She has been missing for some time. We are going to start, here, Bullhorn Betty is going to start working on getting some more information and advocating for her, just bringing some awareness to her case. You know, it's going to be very difficult for me, to do the investigation, but we can do stuff just to bring attention to it. And anybody else, if you guys know, I want to start bringing cases, even though cases that we can't cover and go out there and do things on. I do want to bring attention to the missing people, so we can just bring some attention to them, right? They're still missing. And just because we can't, put, our feet on the ground out there and, interview people and things of that nature on all these cases, we definitely can bring light to them. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, utilizing you guys as well as the rest of social media sphere of influence to get these people's faces and names out there and across the internet, because a lot of people, as you know, use the internet a heck of a lot more than they're watching mainstream media. I literally watch no news on TV. I get my news through the email, through you guys, and what I see online. I've got all these TVs, even one right behind me. You guys never see the TV on. I mean, like literally, I'm taking that one out. I'm redoing The Office soon. So, moving stuff around and just clearing up all this stuff back here and, probably putting a green screen in or something of that nature. So we have a little bit of a better viewing experience for you guys as well. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chadwell. Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, enjoy this. Go back, replay it. We're going to end for the time being. I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Oh, yeah, exactly. And not only that, but, and just another thing. So I'm just going to show a little segment of this. Jonathan threw out, again, I just want to show this because it's rough. I mean, it's not what you see. Let me see, Jonathan. I saw it this morning come in. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. So he posted this 11 hours ago. I did see it pop up in my feed this morning, and I'm just going to play. I want to, he's a team member. So if you guys want to watch the entire thing, please go to his channel and play it. So I'm just going to pull it up because I know there's going to be a little ad on the front end of it. Oh, no. Hold on. So let me get the ad out of the way. Look at all those rocks, by the way. Look at all those rocks. So, where is somebody going to set up a tent with all those rocks? These are all rocks, just beds and beds. Like and everywhere you step, there's rocks everywhere.
The bend right there?
Yes. So we're like, it looks like right in here.
Where's our car? The car is the fork in the road. Can we see the car from here? So we're going to continue our travels and find out where we can go.
I would say it's right over here. Where?
That is the flower that we saw.
Here you go.
Where's the map? Let's put the coordinates back in the phone.
The flower, Ori.
Let's put the coordinates back in the phone. Where's that map I gave you?
It could be right over here.
Look at all those rocks on the ground. They were literally
It could be right there. Like, look right there. It's all grassy and everything like that.
And what he's talking about grassy is like bushes that's hard grass. Like these things were crunchy. It wasn't like they lay down.
See if we see any markings.
Look at all those rocks.
But see, once you cross over here, it is. Look at this flat area over here.
That looks more with the.
Olivia, I think it's right here. Where's the orange on the tree?
You see Olivia?
Oh, wait. There's a bag. I found it. I found it.
Jonathan did find the location.
Right here.
There's a bag here. Somebody left a bag and flowers.
Look at the tree marks in the tree. All over the tree.
So again, in true fashion, if you guys want to watch that segment, Jonathan did put the video up. You guys can watch us searching for the spot. It was not easy to find. It was not easy to find. And as you see, there's literally rocks covering the entire, like there wasn't one step that I could step without rocks. And everybody was arguing with me that, you know, there was a tent out there and stuff like I don't see where there was a clearing for a tent without being on top of rocks, like literally rocks everywhere. And I don't see somebody putting a sleeping bag out there and sleeping on top of those rocks. And where there weren't rocks, let me just show you. Let me just pull this up. Where there weren't rocks, there were these hard little grassy things, but they're not really grassy. They're almost like little trees that are popping up. There is no grass. See that? That's all sticks. Look how thick those sticks are. You can't lay on that stuff. There were a Pepsi Cola. There were an enormous amount of rocks. Like I was in boots, and every step I took was rocks or these crunchy things right here. There was no, like, even when we were there in front of where the bag and the cross were, there was not a 7x7 area that didn't have either these sticks and like, I don't even know what this is, but it's leafy. So it's just, yeah, it's crazy. And for those that want to follow me on TikTok, it's at Bullhorn Betty. I am getting quite the following. I've had quite the following on TikTok for some time. It is exploding. I'm almost to 72,000 TikTok followers. And, you know, just trying to build the channel here on YouTube. And as we build this channel, we will be providing, you know, more benefits to the viewers. We've got some things that we are going to be rolling out of here. And, you know, collaboration with other true crime communities would be great because we are going to be doing some things that can be a collaborative effort for some on a monthly basis. Like it's not money monetized wise, but just a monthly basis, getting spotlights of cases that I'd like to do and preview on this channel, as well as, you know, some of the cases that we're working on previewed on other channels. So we're going to be working on that. This is really truly we're here to try to help families. We are here to try to bring awareness to the missing. And we actually physically go out and look in some cases to help the victims. And that's what we do. So if that's what you like and it's what you like to follow, please stay here. The Bullhorn Betty channel. That's what we do. So at any rate, please like, share, and subscribe. We're at 2 hours. You guys have an amazing Saturday. We will be live tomorrow morning. Bright and early. And don't forget, this is the best. This is the #1 seller on the merch site right here. This coffee club mug. This is the #1 seller. Everybody, if you haven't gotten your coffee club, if you don't drink coffee and you want, they have tumblers there. If you're across the world and you watch me at night, they have a smaller tumbler for wine. They have a wine glass, so you can have your cup of wine with me. So please remember to hit the like button for this segment. And please don't keep me a secret. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You guys have an amazing day. Oh, great. We're so happy to have you. Thank you. Thank you so much. My mods do an amazing job on here. And trust me, it is a rough job on this channel. Don't know why, but it is. So they do work very hard. I want to thank my moderators. They are amazing. They keep it real. They keep us drama free because I don't have time to do it, right? And they keep me focused and they keep me on track. So I am very thankful to every one of my mods that are in here. I'm very thankful to every one of my members that are in here that support me on a monthly basis. And for all those folks that have made this cup, this mug right here, the #1 seller on my merch site, I also want to thank you as well. Don't forget to, do like, sharing, and subscribing, and going back and watching other programs that we've done. Actually support this channel. So if you want to support this channel but don't want to financially support, you're financially supported by going and watching other segments. You can, and it's free to you. So please go back, support this channel as much as you can. For Pen 1010, you can go back and watch my other segments and help support this channel as well. So happy to have you here. I thank everyone. God bless each and every one of you. You guys are all beautiful people. Let's keep our focus on the missing and the murdered and bringing their cases to light. Unfortunately, we met Graciela Garcia, which I believe foul play is involved in this case, just on the surface, right? Just on the surface, and with experience of dealing with these types of cases, it tells me that there's something fishy going on, and there's something fishy going on in that household. Again, I haven't dug into it very, very well. And hopefully we will get Ronnie Girl up here she is the expert on this particular case with Graciela. We want to make sure that we bring some attention to it. I know Ronnie Girl's worked very hard on trying to get me to speak about it and bring this case to light while we're at this point. So hopefully we get her microphone and her camera set up for tomorrow's segment, and we can learn a little more about Graciela Garcia and her case. Oh, thank you. Awesome. Awesome. So everybody, say your goodbyes to each and every one of you. We love you, and God bless. And we will see you tomorrow.